Hello, I'm Parris Alexander, and I'm speaking to you today in relation to Seb, who's 5.5 years old, his conversation and language development with his mum. Seb is able to multitask. You've seen in this scene from the video that he is multitasking by creating an image, which then sparks other interests that he discusses with his mum. In the next slide, we're discussing Seb's interests and what they are captured by. Seb's interest was firstly captured by the creation of his own fish, secondly by sharks and other aquatic animals. He was then very interested in the movie Finding Nemo, in which he discussed actors with his mum and he was seeking new information. He was very interested also in holding his mother's attention. Linguistically, Seb is able to ask questions relating to a topic. He's able to use facial expressions and body language to help convey his message. There's a scene in the movie where Seb is trying to explain a word to his mum. His mum doesn't understand the word krill that he's trying to say. So Seb completely engages his mum by touching her. He is making eye contact with her, which he wasn't doing before. Although he wasn't making eye contact throughout the duration of the conversation, he was still able to change his facial expressions while communicating with his mum. He's able to experiment and explore words such as killer shark, or he's able to connect imagery with creating words as well, such as connecting the knowledge he has of the name of a shark and then trying to connect it with the colour, making the word grey shark. He incorporates imaginary play into his conversation, and he's able to pronounce difficult words and structure sentences correctly. Other areas of Seb's development are emotional development. Seb's emotional development is being aided through his discussion with his mum, as he feels safe, secure and supported to enable him to express meaning and discuss any feelings that he has. His cognitive development is also being aided when he is able to use imaginary play into his conversation. Through imaginary play, he's able to share stories and ideas and emotions and look at the word through another perspective. His social development is also reached a milestone. It shows that he has the ability to take turns. When he's conversating with his mother, he waits for her to speak and then he's able to speak again. Another aspect of his social development is supported by Vygotsky's interactionist theory. When Seb is communicating with his mother to try and find out about the word krill, and she doesn't reinforce him, she doesn't know the word, she's unable to say yes or no, and she tries to associate what he's saying with other words, this then has made Seb dismiss the word because he is not being reinforced by his mother. So he, according to Vygotsky, will then dismiss the word. So this slide shows some strategies to extend Seb's language and literacy development. So I've selected a few. Educator reading group time, which involves sea creatures. So I've selected a story here, A Swim Through the Sea, but you could always use a rainbow fish or a house for a hermit crab. This story, A Swim Through the Sea, is a great story. It's very colourful. It's illustrated the whole way through. It has very interesting facts about sea creatures and enables the children to hear the pronunciation of words. It also helps them to discover new words of different animals. Throughout having a group time story, children are then able to discuss their thoughts and feelings of the story after, which is related to the Reggio Emilia approach, which relies heavily on group time stories and group time interactions. Having these group time interactions is extending on Seb's interest of his marine aquatic life. So through the extension of this interest, we're able to involve all of the children and then discuss afterwards. Another great strategy would be to create a workbook. A workbook I had in mind to look something quite similar to this, where you have an image and you have the word. So the image of a sea creature could be cut out from a magazine, it could be drawn, and then the word could be either traced, copied, or written themselves if they know the word. Suggestions of these words or the creation of these workbooks would be completely up to the children. They'd be able to discuss with each other or educators how they wanted to do it, if they wanted to cut out pictures or draw their own pictures, which is the ability to be a leader, which also follows the Reggio Emilia approach, as children are leaders in their own education through that approach. So with that workbook, a table would be set up with around 4 people, 4 students, and then educators would be able to come and sit and discuss and hypothesize and also question children in which ways to further extend on this activity. Throughout this activity, children would be their own leaders in their learning, and they would be furthering their knowledge as they could discuss with educators any other knowledge about these marine life. Another strategy would be an iPad application. I've selected an application called Ocean Encyclopedia of Sea Animals for Kids and Parents. This is a great interactive tool for children to be able to use technology. So I would set up this with a table of just 1 or 2 people with some headphones, so Seb would be able to have a look at this iPad application by himself, or maybe with an educator to discuss. This application has a full voiceover, so the pronunciation of words are completely voiced over, and he can get any information that he wants about those animals that are on there. There is a wide variety of animals actually on the slides, so he's able to look through them. So some resources we might need are animal images and words, iPad, earphones, the application, reading stories, arts and craft resources. So if you were going to do the book A Swim Through the Sea, you would definitely have to have that book as a resource. The Reggio Emilia approach is one that I think would focus those strategies the best, because it does enable children to be the leader in their learning. Guidance and support from adults are needed, but the most of their learning is from extending on their interest and questioning and gaining knowledge. Teachers and children are seen as co-learners, so they are able to learn together. So it's an education based reliably on relationships, and teachers are able to organise rich possibilities that invite children to undertake and extend on any explorations or problem solvings that they had. So I think this approach definitely has a great link with the strategies that I have selected, as all of them really encourage children to be their own leaders in their learning, and educators are there to extend on and assist children. So that's what I have had. So thank you very much.